Hello there. One of the things I've been thinking about today is a phenomenon in human behaviour whereby a strength in one set of circumstances can very easily become a strength overdone in others. So just think, for example, of the person who's brilliant at mastering detail, who needs to be careful not to overwhelm others with that detail, or to assume perhaps that they've understood it at the same level of depth. Or the person who's famed for cutting through the BS, who needs to remember that sometimes that might make them seem harsh or binary or absolutist. And this plays out in our communication in many ways, and perhaps in particular in our online communication. And that's what I want to talk about on this video, and in particular the 6 different ways in which we can see its effect. Now, right now I want to talk about the first of those ways, which is what I would call the trade-off, if you like, between impact and nuance. Technology enables us to have significant impact, and in fact, our organisations would really be struggling if we weren't able to carry on communicating through lockdown. The tools that are available to us to create content, to host content, to market that content to our long-suffering friends are greater than ever before. It's phenomenal, and the stars, the influencers of today, many of them have found their audience from their spare bedrooms. The trade-off, though, is that we're sending that out, we're having that impact in a 2D world. It strips, the online medium strips our communication of a lot of its nuance. And anyone who's been locked in an email flame rage will know exactly what I mean. We see things, we don't get the full picture, the nuance is lost, the things that we would have conveyed face to face are absent, and consequently things can escalate very quickly. Just look at the forums of a local newspaper or try and talk politics on Facebook, and you'll see that in action. And really it's amplified by 3 key phenomena from psychology. The first is that we are likely, more than ever online, to surround ourselves with a choir of our own choosing and to whom we want to preach. Our tolerance of the dissenting voice of other perspectives is reduced online. Mob rule, in effect, starts to take over. I know that sounds dramatic, but again, try and talk politics on Facebook and you'll see what I mean. So the irony is that never before have we had access to such a vast array of different perspectives and voices, but more than ever we reduce that to a single lens. So that's the first thing, and it really does block our ability to learn from each other, to benefit from other perspectives, to collaborate. The second thing is what's called computer-mediated communication. And what that is, when it comes to psychology, is a recognition of the fact that our behaviour is different when we're communicating online. Studies and simulations have shown that we're more likely to lie or to exaggerate than if we wrote something down on a piece of paper and handed that piece of paper to somebody else, for example. And in fact, most dramatically compared to if we were to sit down with somebody and just talk to them. So we're more likely to exaggerate, to become absolutist, and again to spark angry exchanges that don't really lead anywhere. And then the third thing, which is very related, is about the reality of how when we form a strong commitment, and when we make that commitment out loud, a statement of point of view, for example, an opinion, we're very, very unlikely to move away from it. It will take hell and high water to shift our thinking. And the online world, in my observation anyway, encourages us perhaps to make more statements of opinion, to make more public commitments that we then dig our heels in and refuse to move on from. So if you think about it in terms of 1, groupthink, surrounding ourselves by people with the same view. 2, the fact that online we are more likely to exaggerate, perhaps even lie. And 3, the fact that when we make a commitment, and we're more likely to do that online, then we're very unlikely to move away from that commitment. And you've got the recipe for really challenging teamwork. So online communication enables us to have significant impact, but we mustn't forget that it's a 2D world. We're gesturing angrily through the car windscreen at a passerby in a way that we wouldn't have done if we were sitting down with them and just talking. And we have to be careful, otherwise we'll lose the thing that is arguably most precious about humanity, which is our ability to link up, to communicate, to cooperate, and to achieve things together. Thanks very much.